Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Baldy_OD, and today's video I'm talking about Zangief's anti-airs and how to effectively anti-air with Zangief. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Zangief has a really bad set of anti-airs. They're either too slow, they aren't invul long enough, they don't hit on autocorrects, and just a whole list of things that makes it really hard to anti-air Zangief. Now, I do want to mention they're not that bad, but compared to pretty much everyone else in the cast, he pretty easily has the worst set of anti-airs. But there's ways to make it not so bad, and you know, setups you can do to at least get like good Oki afterwards or good damage, and I'll mention all those in this video. Now, the first one I want to talk about is his EX Lariat. EX Lariat is one of the faster ones he has. It's frame 12. It can cancel into level 2 and level 3 actually. Here, I'll show an example of level 3. Wait for it. The problem with this, though, you have to hit it pretty late, all things considered. But you also have to do it to where it doesn't get stuffed out. That's also a main issue Zangief has, is like Lariat and EX Lariat, they both aren't frame 1 invul to anti-airs, so if you do it too late, you actually just lose, like, no matter what. But obviously that depends on the normal and like how late you hit it, which really sucks. But yeah, you can cancel it into level 2 and level 3, which give pretty good damage both. Overall though, I would say if you are gonna cancel EX Lariat as an anti-air, you should probably just do level 2. That one saves you a little bit of meter, and it's not nearly as expensive as doing a level 3, because doing level 3, that's a pretty big commitment right there over an anti-air that does 49%. But it's specifically, the problem is that it's not consistent, because if you do it too early, it's not gonna hit. But then if you do it too late, you're gonna get stuffed out by the anti-air normal. So overall, I think level 2 is a more consistent and safer option. Let's see. Another thing he can do is, this is specifically in the corner, but he can do it mid-screen. I've seen clips of it, but the opponent basically has to jump directly on your head, and it's this combo. Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is also a good combo. Really good damage. It's honestly not that hard to get. It's pretty costly, but I would say it's worth doing more often than not. If you don't get put out, if you don't get put in burnout to do it, it's pretty good. Now another thing I need to mention is, one important thing you have to do in the corner as Zangief is like have, like, you know, the normal throw loop setup ready. However you get that set up, whether it's the meaty with stomp setup or if it's just neutral throw and you like to walk forward, it's important to auto correct your Lariat with Zangief, because if they do jump forward and your throw whiffs, you want to keep your pressure going, or at least anti-air them so you can still get damage out of the situation. Honestly, anti-airing with Lariat is really not that hard. All you have to do is just move forward a little bit, and it works. Now, that only works with EX Lariat. A problem that happens with normal Lariat, sorry, I messed it up. A problem that happens with normal Lariat is that it's literally too slow. Like, even like, oh my gosh, I cannot get it. Yeah, see, like, if I did EX Lariat right there, it would have hit. But because normal Lariat is an additional 3 frames slower, they get time to block. Now, this does still work if they do like a cross-up normal, but because they're just empty jumping, they have less recovery when they land, so they get the time to block, which is really not good, because you need a drive rush combo, you can need a drive impact, which is really bad. A list of punishes go on and on and on. It's not good. But overall, I think Lariat is your go-to when it comes to anti-airing as Zangief. It's an easy input, thankfully. You just have to like really be on point with the anti-air. You have to be careful how you do it. But overall, I would say if they jump over you, for example, then you want to do EX Lariat. But if it's like the neutral here and they just jump in on you, I would say go for normal Lariat, because it doesn't use drive gauge. But those aren't his only 2 anti-airs he has. He also has another one, which is crouching heavy punch. Crouching heavy punch, it's okay. I feel like the main problem with this one though is that unlike basically every other crouching heavy punch anti-air in this game, he's standing up the entire time, and he's slower than other characters. Like I think Luke's is what, frame 7 or something crazy like that. His is frame 12, and because he's standing up, his hurt box, it's basically still there depending on how deep the jump in is. Like see, I try to anti-air here and I just lose because since I'm standing up, she's hitting me so deep that I just get stuffed out. But overall, I mean, it's decently consistent. You just have to anti-air them really early in the jump, and the knockdown you get off of it is not really all that bad. You get like, you got a decent knockdown. You're decently closing your face too. And this actually, if there's one thing I can say that's especially good about this anti-air, is that depending on how like far they are, you can actually hit a cross up pretty well. Like if I was still walking here, see that it can, like, he would have crossed me up if I was just keep walking. So it actually does a pretty okay job of hitting cross ups or cross up attempts. But I wouldn't necessarily count on this one too much because, like, you know, it does 10%, it's okay. But, you know, Lariat does more damage, and then EX Lariat does more damage, obviously. So it's an option, but it just loses to so many things that I don't really know if it's quite worth doing most of the time. It's pretty risky, and also a bad thing about it, it has an incredible amount of whiff recovery. It literally has 35 frames. That's half a second. That's over half a second. It's really, really bad on whiff. And even on block, it's not very good. I'm pretty sure it's a minus like 13 on block. Oh, minus 19, even worse. Wow. So if they block it, if they do manage to block it, they literally have enough time to do a drive rush, you know, medium, and get big damage off of that. But it's mainly just one of those things that you kind of have to, like, you can use it, I keep in mind, but overall I wouldn't really recommend it unless their opponent has a habit of jumping in, so you like can kind of anticipate it and then you preemptively do it. Another one that's actually not all that bad is Stand Heavy Punch. Stand Heavy Punch is actually a pretty good anti-air thanks to the armor. I'll show you an example. See, it does the same amount of damage as Lariat. It's pretty nice. It has a hard time like dealing with, say, really deep jump-ins, for example, like right there, she can block it. Or if it's a light, normally they recover in time enough to where they can block. And also, if you do spend too long charging it, they can drive impact if they do see it in time, or recognize that they're doing your stand heavy punch. So you also want to keep that in mind. And this one actually can deal with. Hold on, I have to get it set up. My bad. This one you can autocorrect with this one. It's really not that hard to autocorrect. Like, see right there. Because all you really have to do is like walk forward a little bit, or like just slightly delay it, and then Zangief will turn around himself. Kind of the same thing you have to do with the Lariats. So it's not that bad. I would say this one's probably better than Crouching Heavy Punch because you're less likely to just get blown up for it. It also hits pretty far. Like here, I'll show you an example. Like it can hit decently far if you do it late. Yeah, see, like that. It's not bad at all. But I wouldn't recommend like holding it like super deep like that. I would recommend just whenever you see that you anti-air them properly, just let it go right then and there, because you don't want to spend any more time charging it, because that just gives them more and more of a chance to block it. Now another one I think is pretty good is his Stand Heavy Kick. His Stand Heavy Kick has really, really good horizontal range. It has vertical range, but like it's not really there. Like, and it's also decently slow, so it can get beat by moves like pretty often actually. But this one specifically shines whenever someone is, say, neutral jumping, specifically neutral jumping in the corner. That's where this one's really good, because you can do this, which is a really nice combo actually. It's basically a free 37% just because you notice that they do a jump, and it works basically from any time the Zen Heavy Kick hits. they're all like very specific ranges where the OD SPD will actually whiff, but 9 out of 10 times this is gonna connect pretty easily, even from like a hit super late as that. And I even think you might be able to. Let me see. Yeah, you don't have enough time to drive rush afterwards, but if you were to say get a punish counter for some reason, I don't know why you'd get a punish counter, but the damage is also really, really good from that too. You can basically do whatever you want after the punish counter hit. It's not bad at all. I would say now I'm gonna move on to the more like niche anti-airs. Like these are the ones that I would say their uses are pretty limited, and they're more so like hard read anti-airs. First one I want to mention is Hellsap. I think Hellsap's actually not all that bad as an anti-air, but the problem is he still has his head hurt box. Like his hand is anti-airable, but his head hurt box is still there, so it's pretty easy for him to get stuffed out. But if you're say playing neutral against a character with a dive kick, it's actually not that bad because it beats out dive kicks actually really, really well. Like right there it works. Here it works. It hits pretty late, and if basically anytime you get a Hellsap connect in the air, you get a guaranteed level 1, which is also really, really nice damage. It's a free 37%. It's good, but this actually works against characters that don't have dive kicks too. Like I'm gonna switch to JP in a short example. For example, some JPs, they like to stay in say this middle ground area and just stand here and just do jump medium punch and just completely try to wall you out. But if you just see, it works right there too. Same thing applies for Ed because our hurt box is so extended. You do actually have enough time to just do this, which is again, it's pretty good damage. It's not bad at all. Let's see. Another one is his level 1. Level 1 is like it can work as an anti-air, I guess, but honestly, if you're playing on modern, it can work, sure, but I'm pretty sure the modern scaling for level 1 is like really, really bad. So even then, it's not all that worth it. I would mainly just say that you want to just use this as like a hard read still, or like you have a feeling you're like in this range and you have a feeling that your opponent's gonna jump some way. Technically, this could work as an autocorrect. I'll try to show an example of it. But the problem with like trying to autocorrect off of a meaty throw here is that you basically have to input it in such a perfect and small window, because the problem is if you do it automatically, they land too high, right? But then if you do it too late and delay it by too much, they land in time and you eat a fat punish combo. So the timing to actually autocorrect here is really, really, really hard to do. So I honestly wouldn't recommend using it to like autocorrect either, unless I think it can maybe work if you're like literally right inside of your opponent as you go for the throw. But even then, it's pretty inconsistent. But autocorrecting it, like, it's not even hard to autocorrect because it's really just a delay 236 input. But it's literally just too slow, so I wouldn't recommend it. Overall, I don't really know if you could use it as an anti-air, but it technically exists. I just don't see it being better or having more uses as the other ones, in my opinion. And then there's another one, and that's Air SPD. Like, I wish Air SPD was a good option, but the main problem with using Air SPD as an anti-air is that, like, it's too slow. Like really. Sure, if you see them, you can try to go for it. The range isn't really all that crazy, so you pretty much have to be in their face when you go for it. And on top of that, since it's like, what is it? It's 4 frames. Well, realistically, if you're in the air jumping at them, if they just press their jumping light or their whatever button they have that they're trying to jump in on, it's gonna lose to it, because it doesn't have anything crazy like anti-air and bowl or anything like that. So really, it's kind of just whatever. And then if you go for the normal one, it doesn't have as much range as a light, so like you have to pretty much be right in their face. So it's just like, yeah, you can use it, but again, you'd be way better off using it as a hard read than anything else. Because, I mean, it just doesn't really anti-air very well. As an air-to-air, maybe, but like, if they're like doing a late jump like this, right? It doesn't have enough like vertical reach to where, you know, they're gonna get grabbed by it. And then if they like do a jumping like normal, you're gonna lose by it. Overall, I would say Gief's anti-airs are like a solid 4 out of 10, honestly. I think it really varies by like the opponent's playstyle. Like if you're fighting someone who is really jumpy, of course you're gonna anti them with Lariat like every time. If you don't, that's kind of a problem. But honestly, I feel like doing the EX Lariat, standing heavy punch, and maybe health stab against dive kick characters are your best options. There's also perfect parry, which I actually didn't mention. Perfect parry is good too, but I didn't really mention that one in this video because that's like a universal thing. That's not really a Gief specific thing. So as an option, obviously, overall, I'd say when you do get a perfect parry, just go for either back throw in the corner or whatever throw you want to do for like a setup. But it's definitely an option. I'm not gonna deny that. But yeah, overall, Gief's anti-airs are pretty niche, and they're definitely some of the weakest set of anti-airs I've ever played with a character in a fighting game. Like even more so than Hugo in Street Fighter 3, which is saying something. And I think they don't even need that many changes to be better than what they are now, but it's just really about if Capcom wants to do that, which hopefully they do. Hopefully they realize that current Gief's anti-airs are an actual struggle, and they're really hard to deal with, like as a Gief player, because sometimes you would say try to auto-correct Lariat someone or do a late delayed Lariat, and you just lose, and you just have to accept it, and it really sucks. But until he gets buffs or any types of changes in Season 2, it's kind of just how his anti-airs are going to be. Hopefully this video helped you, gave you some ideas on what you can do for Gief's anti-airs. Overall, I'd say in order, the best ones go Lariat, EX Lariat, Lariat, Health Stab / Crouching Heavy Punch, and then Stand Heavy Punch is pretty good too. I need to give that one credit. Stand Heavy Punch is pretty good. It's probably better than Crouching Heavy Punch. And then everything else after that, it's kind of just like in hard to read area, but they're definitely there. So that's really all I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Any support is very greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get 500 subs. That's my goal right now, and go from there. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. See ya.